Yeah, create another one here, another class. We'll call it main program 2. Okay, and we'll make this look kind of similar to the sandwich program. So I'm using the student class and the faculty and the school classes in here. So let's just say this is my main program, and I want to create a school. Remember, these are already all set up, right? We have the school, have the address to a faculty in here, and then have the data on there. So if you want to create a school, the first school will be like school, we'll just call it A, like the one in the diagram, and no school. And when I do this, school A has all those properties, has one faculty, one student. In this example, we just have one student and one faculty. And I don't remember we have any constructors on that. We did have some, I think. The school, no, we didn't have any. So no constructors. I mean, it's completely blank. So let's supply some information. So school A dot set the name. So this is the school name. Okay, so we'll call it GTC. And we'll call it school name. And then what about you want to set the student information? How do you set the student data? Remember that the school class is composed of student and faculty. Now to go to the student faculty, you have to call one of its functions. Remember, this is private, right? So you can't really set it. In this example, you want to call the get student function, and then from there it will take you to the student class and then get its data in here. Okay? So again, back to the diagram I showed you earlier, back here. So now I'm creating student A, school A. I set the name and the information here, but to set the student information, I have to go student A here, dot get student, and the dot set ID, set name, set grade, and so on. You do that through the get function and not the set. So here, if I want to set the student name, let's call it school A dot get student. Okay, you can see it's accessible here. We'll get that first, and this get student function is the getter for the school class, right? And then dot, you can see that now these are the fields inside the student class. So I'm going over another class to another class. So this is the third class from this class. So now I can set the student name to Larry King if I want to. Or ID, sorry. ID we just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to do that for all the student fields. So basically you're going to call this like ID, name, grade, and so on. All through this get student function inside the school. Yeah. Yeah, so this is inside the school, and then this are inside the student. So set name, and then set grade. Call this here freshman. And even if we don't supply these values, if we don't even do this, what do you think is going to be about the student? What type of data do we get? Yeah, right. We get the John Doe formation because we already added that in here in the student class earlier. So all these are already set. But if you're gonna set to new data, what we do this way, and so it's kind of like the same what we did earlier, except we're calling from the school class to the student class to that. So again, just since we're already here, we just call this the address. Address. 555 King Road, And then one more. I think we're done here, right? Yeah, we're done. So the school A has that student, and then the faculty will be just blank. We didn't fill out the faculty information. And then now we can then print that information. So instead of put that in here, we'll just, again, write a function to print the information. So down here, we'll just say public static, have to be static, void, when I return any data. We'll just say show data. And we'll pass into this function the object of school. So whatever is attached to school, everything comes with it. So you don't have to pass, school that name, school that whatever it is, right? And that's the beauty of objects. You pass the object, all those properties come with it. And if you don't do that, imagine you have to pass every parameter through the function, 10 of them. Right, that's a lot. But you pass an object, then you can access it directly from here. So now back to the other function we did earlier. So you can say, I'm just going to copy from the other one. Say some typing. So down here, right, you could do something like this, and I'll put it in here. So instead of student, you can leave that here. We want to add above it the school information. So maybe just one line because we want to have the school name. So we'll add the sys out the school name. And we'll add that it'll be school.getName. Okay, the name at the school level, not the student level. So to get a student ID, do the same thing. You have to call the school.getStudent.getName and get ID and so on. So in front of here, we could get ID. Actually, we're going to replace the whole thing here with school.getStudent. Okay, getStudent. The function .getID. Okay, so you have to follow the chain until you reach where you want to pull the data. So for the faculty, it'll be the same thing. School.getFaculty.getID and so on. So replace all these students with that object call, and now we have all this information. And if inside the student you have another function, another class in there as part of one of those parameters or fields, then it gets pretty long. Student.getStudent. Let's just say getAddress.getAddress or getStreet name, right? So it goes in that order, and that's okay because sometimes you have to do that. And that's why you see all these dot here, system.out.print, whatever it is, right? So if you save this and run it, let's see if we have something. Oh, okay, I have an error here. Line 9, so I have an error. Let's see what that says. What's going on? Let's go. Oh, I didn't pass it to him. Okay, let's see something. Well, let's call the function, see what happens. I'm going to go show data. We'll pass in school A. Set grade, set address. Set school. Okay. Okay, so let's try again. Show data, run it again. Okay, I have an error. No pointer. It means that in my line number 9, okay, line 9 has an error and it says no pointer. No means it's empty. So my line 9, when I try to access the student, it's not there. Okay. And the reason it's not there is because we didn't instantiate a new student. So if you go to the school class, you see that we declared the objects, but nowhere in our code did we say equal new student or new faculty, right? So it doesn't work in this case. So you want to say either in here or inside the constructor, you want to say new faculty. You have to instantiate the object. If you don't do that, you can access its data, remember? Right, so new student. So now we have two new objects called student and faculty. Okay, so now they exist, and therefore we can set those data in there. So you can do here in the data field, or you can do inside the constructor, especially in the empty constructor. This one we don't have any, so school has no constructor, right? It just took the default. You can do that, or you can say public school. We can take the default constructor and we'll put that in here instead of, if you don't want to instantiate up here, you can say student equal new student. You can do that in here. For example, let's just say if I didn't have that here, okay, you will instantiate inside the constructor when you create a new school. But either way, you can do up here like this faculty, or you can do inside here inside the constructor. Okay? If you don't want to use any constructor at all, then you need to do that up here in the class field. Otherwise, you will do that inside here. Otherwise the student and the faculty that don't exist. Okay, if you leave it this way and run it again, I will see if that should solve our problem. So here we have GTC plus the student information there. Again, this is the one that we override with the default. And if you were to create another one here, we call another one here very simple. School. Call it school B equal new school. You just show that school information. You see that school has no data because we didn't set in the constructor, but the student should be there. Okay, I'm going to call the data, and the second school is empty. So the first one is gateway, we call it GTC. The second has no for the school name because we didn't supply one, right? Because it's an empty string for the school name. But the ID is default in the student class, just want to be John Doe and so on. Yeah, the default value of whatever those data types are. Bless you. Okay. Alright, so if you want to set a school, you can say school b.set name, just the name, and then we'll put it here, maybe like IT Academy or something. And then now we have the school name, and then the student will just be, again, John Doe. So here's the first one and the second one. Okay, so for the same token, when you do the project, it asks you to calculate total calories for the bread type and the calories for the filling type. So in there somewhere in your code, it will be similar to the student here we did earlier. You have the GPA. I didn't have it here, but you have a GPA field, and so you think of that as the calories field, and you will compute the calorie or compute GPA in one of those functions. And then when you call it, you just say compute GPA or compute calories for bread, compute calorie for filling, and you can get those information back again to display. So just make sure that when you have that sandwich, you have to account for the 2 slices of bread, the top and the bottom, right? So you multiply that by 2 to get the total calories for those 2 slices.